Good morning and welcome along to AardvarkJoke
Episode 20.
I'm joined this week, as I normally am, by Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson, what have you been up to this week?
I've been memorising the order of cards in a deck, but I decided using all four suits was too difficult, so I've just been working on spades.
And the topic's going to try and see if we can write a joke about one of them this week. As there's three, Mr. Peterson, I'd like you to choose, please.
Oh, how exciting.
We normally try and avoid dating the podcast too much, but it's this one will date it a little bit to a rough time period. So we've had the Tories budget, and it has not done the pound many favours. And very broadly, I think that the Tories have decided to sanction the UK, which I think there's some length in that one. I don't know if you saw this. It was an interesting one. There's a crowdfunder for Thomas the Tank. So a tank has been crowdfunded for the Ukraine conflict. On the Ukrainian side, I should point out, in case any historians are listening to this, trying to get some accurate information. I'm not sure why. And then the other one I saw...
primary source.
Yeah, we're a primary source of what people with valueless opinions think. And then there's one I also saw on BBC World News, actually. So it was in Burkina Faso, where there's currently a military leadership, which is not always deemed to be a positive thing for a country. But they promised no more red tape, which I just thought was it's like the absolute most middle England election policy you could possibly have. But yeah, so I think there's quite a lot of scope. I'm almost tempted to do one per week for a while, because I think they're all quite funny. But
They are.
Mr. Peterson, which one are you leaning towards?
Oh, I mean, I think we've surely got to go with the lady of the moment, Liz Truss, really.
I think that's fair.
Although it does date the podcast, I'm certain that her incompetence will be timeless and will only be matched by the subsequent Tory leaders.
Equally, though, this is politics, so maybe in like 5 or 6 years' time, when she's gone to the backbenches and then made a resurgence, this will be appropriate all over again. So on sort of like a 10-year cycle.
When she single-handedly sorts out the issue in Ukraine and at the same time solves world hunger, we'll look really silly.
We will. We'll look like we're just jealous, essentially. But yeah, it did get me thinking, because broadly what I was thinking about this joke is that obviously the Ukraine conflict has been pretty terrible. However, yes, it's been not good. But when it came to the Western response to it, and everyone started sanctioning Russia, a lot of people...
First, and then, more importantly, they all started wearing Ukrainian flags on their lapels.
They did. But when it came to sanctioning Russia...
is going to show Putin.
Because he doesn't like those two colours. It was a genuine moment where most Western countries seem to be in alignment, and they seem to get a lot of praise from sort of themselves and the media. So I genuinely wonder if they sort of misread the situation in Parliament and just thought that sanctioning any country at any point in time is the sort of thing that really gets the public on side.
Yeah.
It's sort of like an economic revisionist history of just humanity. Oh, what did the Allies do to Nazi Germany? They sanctioned their trade zones.
In all fairness, the UK hasn't started any wars since Liz Truss sanctioned us.
That's in fact, actually, because she's quite new. There's probably a load of things that haven't gone wrong yet. Yeah. So there's been no, I'm not aware of any inquiries due to her actions as of the time of recording.
Yes, she hasn't held any work events during COVID lockdowns. There's been no new pandemics.
Equally, things like NHS waiting times, they kind of fluctuate a little bit. So it's possible statistically that they've sort of decreased by 0.something% just due to natural variance during the past 2 weeks. In fact, there's probably some length in that for a joke. It would require a lot of research, but listing all the things that have technically gone well just due to normal statistical variance.
There have been no bad laws passed because Parliament's been in recess.
Yes, that's true. So for the libertarian wing of the party, you think that all government is bad by default. She's obviously done lots to bring them in by not going to work.
It hasn't snowed in the UK.
We haven't had our entire economy shut down by 2 inches of precipitation. That's a good point.
Yeah. So really, sanctionings. The England cricket team won a T20 series in Pakistan.
That's a good point. What this actually makes me think, sorry, genuinely, what makes me think is that if you're ever doing a stand-up show around the time of an election, this joke, what we've just half-covered there, is actually very repeatable. There'll be a whole list of things which, while they inevitably will happen for like any normal length of leadership, won't have happened up till that point. So...
Yes, very true.
That is it's because it takes time for stuff to happen. So this is very repeatable.
Yes, and that's what we want for your set.
Yeah.
The less you have to learn, the better.
Yeah, I can take my set of 5 flashcards around the UK and it'll make my life much easier. Travelling life.
Yes.
On the sanction thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the premise for they sanctioned the UK is a funny way of delivering.
I think it's a very good way, and I think And I think that going down the line of the UK hasn't started any wars since is another very good line. Or the UK hasn't done these sorts of things since.
Yeah, I think there's 2 ways of going about this. But first one is to come up with a list of things that she could do to increase the sanctions on the UK, all of which are like mildly spicy but not too much, such as start a war with France. That certainly turned to have a lot of economic turmoil in the Middle Ages. Generally, whenever you're learning about kings and queens, they're poor because they've just had a good war, and then they've got we need some more money because we've run out, and no one's invented a real economy yet.
Wouldn't there be a ship tax if you started a war with France? That was normally a good way of funding the war.
Yeah,
it's another good way of screwing the poor for Liz Truss.
Yeah, good bit of saltpeter production. In fact, I actually don't know. I assume the UK's saltpeter production has dwindled since the beginning of the 19th century, or certainly 20th century.
Although the Tories are in charge, we don't know what they're building for the army.
No, we've got some wooden galleons and some old school artillery. We've got a lot of cannonballs.
Should we all be longing musket massively?
Yeah. People always complain we don't build anything in this country, but we could probably build cannonballs
and muskets. Yeah,
an overwhelming surplus. The alternative is that because Liz Truss is of the Tory party, you could come up with a list of ways to sanction, quote unquote, the average Tory even more. So you could start with the oligarchs and say third home tax. And then get down to the sort of average countryside Tory and be like,
so that's the way
increase taxes on village green crickets. Barber jackets are to have a 500% tax. Wellington boots are now banned.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You can only curve your bowling ball right. Can't go left.
Things are really a mess of it day to day.
Yeah.
I don't know what the kind of most ludicrous thing that you could try to sanction would be, unless you just say go big and sanction either the world or the moon, or conspiratorial and try and sanction the lizard people.
The makers of the Liz Truss bots.
In fairness, actually, if we run out of gas and can't heat homes, surely that is a massive sanction on the lizard people, because they obviously need to live in a terrarium.
I think that's the joke. You go. Obviously, her next step is going to be sanctioning electricity and gas for the British people, the tyrannical British people. That's it. I think that just level of satire. Or is that just too? So you could either run it through as if it were the lizard people, or just the tyrannical British public deserve to suffer for their leaders' ill-fated globalization views.
Yeah, with a view to becoming the ultimate Green Party candidate by just killing off everyone, or just living in caves or something. Are caves warm or cold? Probably. Well, if you get deep enough, they're quite warm, don't they? Cold initially, and then as you get really close to the Earth's core, or the hollow bit they don't try and tell you about.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. I think we'll pause it there.
8 hours and 32 minutes later.
Having had the praise and success from world leaders and the media for sanctioning Russia, the government has had the work experience polling organisation conclude that a destroyed economy equates to massive popularity. Extending this, they've decided to sanction the UK by making sure gas is so unaffordable that the average UK household will become a chilly, barren place. On the plus side, conspiracy theorists will be able to rejoice, as the cold snap will also kill off a lot of the lizard people who have been coming up with these policies all along. Mr. Peterson, have you got anything to add to the end of this episode of Aardvark Joke?
I don't think so, because I haven't finished writing it down yet.
Cool. Understood. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.